The attached video is my interview with Lou Maurio, Meditation Master and Hypnotist. You can read the description that I have put in the video attachment, or whatever you want to say. I just wanted to make this brief little video to attach before the actual interview, because it is my first interview at Dishin with Dina, interviews from the lounge. And the audio isn't the best. We made sure we had the phone set up for the video and blah, blah, blah. And it's just all real. There's no editing. There's no whatever. It's just us having a conversation. So I had a lapel mic on, and in the past when I've done different interviews or different videos, the lapel mic was enough for the two people. But obviously I'm a loud talker and Lou not so much. It's probably the opposite. So especially in the beginning, it's kind of difficult to hear Lou. So we tried to play around with the audio as best as we could. You could put the closed caption on, although with our long guidelines accents, I'm not sure how that's going to print out. But you absolutely can put the closed caption on so that you can read along with the interview for the parts that are lower and not so much. I got all of the audio figured out for my interviews going forward and all of my videos. Yeah, so that's that. I just wanted to put this little, I don't know, disclaimer, whatever you call it. So please bear with me. Don't get nasty and yell at me about the audio. We got it figured out, I think, for the future interviews. So I hope that you will still sit through this interview, because it's just so important, the work that Lou does. And I really hope that people will take advantage of the help and the healing that he offers to so many. And I will put the links in. I don't know if I can add them to the video. We're still trying to play around with that. I'm really new to this. I'm playing around with it. So bear with me, but I will actually put links in the description anyway. And you can always email me, text me, message me, whatever, for any further information to get in touch with Lou and his group, virtual group meditations, guided visualizations, all of that. All right. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks for being here. And again, if you like it, despite the audio issue, please like it and please subscribe to the channel. Thank you all so much. Ciao for now. Okay, the remote's working and we're on. All right, so hello out there. It's Dina, and welcome to my first, very first broadcast, if you will, Dishin with Dina, interviews from the lounge. And here sits my first mystery guest, who will no longer be a mystery once I introduce him. So this is a very good friend of mine and someone who I admire more than I can even express with words. This is Lou Maurio. Now, welcome, Lou.
Thank you.
And before, I'm so grateful to have you here. So before I ask questions, I just want to say that the series of Dishin with Dina, the interviews from the lounge, will be really my main focus is to share and introduce you and interview people and discuss things with people who have, number one, made a really big influence in my life and helped change my life, and on this constant journey to trying to find balance and just overall wellness. And that's what I strive to do every day of my life and try to share with others. And so Lou is my very first person that I'm going to be interviewing here and sharing it with you. And we're going to just chat. We're going to just be dishing it. So so first off, I'm going to ask questions that I already know the answers to, but you guys don't. So Lou,
Yes.
again, I say welcome and thank you for being here.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
So tell me, what do you do for a living? If somebody says to you, what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do, Lou?
I'm a meditation teacher and a hypnotist.
And a hypnotist.
Both sides, yes.
Okay, so before we get into details of exactly what that entails, how long have you been doing this?
About 15 years.
15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what did you do before that, or what was the journey that got you here?
To that, well, years ago, I was a creative director in an ad agency.
Okay.
Many ad agencies. I worked on Folgers Coffee. I worked on brands like Hasbro Games, and I loved my job. I loved what I was doing. I would create ads. I would do TV commercials. I worked on jingles, many kind of things, and even commercials for learning disabilities.
Wow.
And a lot of times, the commercials that really impacted people's lives, where I really cared so much about what things like learning disabilities or the people who that were hungry and homeless, all kinds of things like that where I got so involved, and it really hit home in my mind that I could make a difference.
Right.
And that felt great, but I stayed in advertising, doing brands, all kinds of brands, and loved it. At 47 years old, I needed a quadruple bypass. The stress of it, having 3 kids, commuting to the city every day, it takes a toll on you, especially when you really like what you're doing.
Sure.
Because you don't give up anything. You work the extra hours, you do the extra things.
Yeah.
And it was great, but I needed a bypass.
So you think that the pull to those humanitarian things that you couldn't really put yourself full force into, was that also taking kind of an emotional toll, because like you couldn't turn, you liked what you did with the advertising, but as it got stressful, you couldn't kind of turn yourself to that right livelihood, if you will, to all of the other things that you would have liked your focus to be more on?
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because I was in Cincinnati on business for Procter & Gamble, ready to do a meeting the next day, and I saw a homeless woman in Fountain Square, and I wrote a song about her. Because I was writing jingles, I was writing songs.
Oh, so you actually wrote the jingles as well?
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
so
interesting.
What happened was, the next day they said, "What did you do last night?" I said, "Well, no one took me to dinner," because they would typically take the creative people to dinner, but there was nobody. So I was teasing them, and I said, "No one took me to dinner, but I wrote a song about this homeless woman in Fountain Square. I felt really bad about her." And they said, "Oh my gosh, you have to talk to Gibby Carey." Gibby Carey was their boss, in charge of all beverages for Procter & Gamble.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So my boss was good friends with Gibby. So next day, or maybe even it was a few days, we sent him the song. And he said, "Oh my gosh, we have to do something about this." And the company I worked for, which no longer exists, it was the oldest ad agency in the country, amazing place to work.
Wow.
They said, "We'll donate money for a commercial."
Wow.
And now it started taking off.
So was the commercial to bring awareness to the homeless?
Yes,
And they actually published this or aired this commercial?
Well, Gibby Carey was the chairman of the food bank.
Oh, okay.
So now it becomes even bigger.
Wow.
So he said, "What are we going to do?" So I created the commercial. And back then, Richie Havens was the voice of Folgers. Richie Havens was the opening act at Woodstock.
Yeah.
And the reason he was because the true opening act didn't show up, is what I was told.
I think I know part of that story. Yeah, I've heard it.
He was amazing, Richie Havens.
Yeah.
And we went to Richie Havens and said, "Would you sing Lou's song?" He said, "Give me the results tell me about the organization." And he said, "Absolutely, I'll sing it. No money, nothing." He said, "I will donate my time." Amazing man. I mean, I think about, he sang a 2.5-minute song and 2 versions of it. One version called "Oh Cincinnati," and the other version called, the chorus became "Oh Tell Me Brothers, Tell Me Sisters."
Now, was this commercial aired just locally, or was it like nationally syndicated?
Locally for Cincinnati. What I did was I created the commercial, and I got a production company, and it turned out the production company from Procter & Gamble said they would work on it.
Wow,
so
okay.
now it became less expensive. It became something we could do. And I said to them at Procter & Gamble, "I can't write a script for this.
Yeah.
I need to ask questions. I'm going to ask questions of the people in Cincinnati that get the services from the food bank. And once I hear what they say, we will use that."
Wow.
So I ask questions like, people say the homeless are all winos and junkies.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about that? And we got reactions of, my husband just lost his job. He was making all this money an hour.
Real stories.
And now we need the food bank.
Wow.
And
holy moly.
That it became.
Do you have a link that you could send me, and I can maybe share it? That would be amazing.
I can send you the commercial.
Please do.
And the full song.
That would be incredible.
It was.
And we're going to talk offline about this too, because George is writing stuff like jingles and stuff, and maybe you guys could collaborate on something. I've stuff about that, but that's some personal stuff. We'll get back to that another time. So let's get back to now. Go.
Let me say now.
Yeah.
The only reason I gave you that story is you said that did it affect what I wanted?
Absolutely. Yes.
Well, after it ended, that one thing, I felt at a loss, because it was like, what more could I do? But I had to go back to work.
Right.
Because I needed to do the assignments. I needed to make a living.
Right.
And all along there, it was that kind of thing that I wanted to do more. I wanted to write more songs and do whatever I could. So I did whatever I could. And then when I got to work on learning disabilities for the Ad Council, it became an amazing commercial for kids, for parents to get their kids help before 2 years old.
And you're so drawn to that stuff. And that's like what I said before, the term right livelihood. And it's a shame, especially in the world today in America, it's been for a long time that, you know, we have to work and pay our bills and da-da-da. And so a lot of times people have to do jobs that they don't truly believe in. Or in the beginning of this interview, you said you were really happy, you loved your job. But again, there's that not being, maybe for lack of better terminology, right? Not, you're being torn because, you know, you have to stay on this path in the job where you would like to go maybe veer off on this path. So then obviously I'm guessing this quadruple bypass, this heart attack or this would happen to you is the catalyst to the change, yes?
It had to be. I mean, it's stress, not eating right all the time.
Sure.
Just not giving myself time and having compassion for myself. I was always concerned with everyone else. And like any father, right? And any mother. It's like you're taking care of everybody. And you need to make a living. You just can't go off and say, okay, I'm going to write good songs for people to donate money. Harry Chapin did. And look, a food bank after him, amazing guy.
Yeah,
to be able to do that. But he kept doing what he did.
And that's a rarity, you know.
That's right. So I did my best in that. And then after the bypass, I have an amazing brother who's a neuropsychologist. And he said to me, you need to sit down and relax. You need to learn to manage your stress because you're killing yourself. So he said, you need to learn stress reduction and everything else that goes along with that. So he sent me to learn these things. He taught me some of the things himself. And then he said, you need to really learn to meditate from the best. So he sent me for courses in that. He sent me everywhere, up to Cambridge, Massachusetts.
That's
all
amazing.
Those things while I was still in advertising. At that time, I was starting my own little ad agency too. There were a lot of things.
Yeah, because you couldn't just stop working and just take this risk and, you know, jump off a bridge, like, you know, and hope that, you know, you land on a soft raft or something.
Exactly. But my brother said to me, you will become the best at this.
And now how long ago, 15 years ago this was around?
No, that was even more.
Oh, because you were still in advertising. And then
this goes back even farther.
So then you morphed over, obviously. How long did it take you?
I didn't switch over to advertising, from advertising to this for a while. I went back to, I stayed in advertising and learned everything he told me to learn. And then he said, you need to learn hypnosis. And I learned all of that and kept growing with that. And then he said, he kept saying, do you want to work in my office? Because you can just have an office. It's yours to do what you need to do. And I said, well, I want to stay in advertising longer. And he said, okay, whatever you want. And then there came a time when the last company I worked for, they closed the in-house ad agency. And I said, now it's time. And that made the change. And
so you started out in your brother's office here on Long Island.
Right. And
I happen to know that.
Office too, and I would go back and forth between the two.
Now let me just go off a tiny. It's not really a tangent. It's all related. But so your brother, you said, is a neuropsychologist. Can you just, in a brief blurb, tell us what a neuropsychologist does?
I never knew what he did prior to that. I didn't know how he worked with cancer patients and everybody else. But he's really, it's like a supersized psychologist, except what he can do with testing for the brain. The first choice for brain testing and everything is a neuropsychologist because that's their specialty, to really look and see what's going on.
So like say somebody's suffering from like severe anxiety or depression or OCD, real diagnostic OCD, not just, you know, self-diagnosed OCD that I want everything in this right spot type of thing, which I have my own, you know, idea. So, but things that are truly like affecting their everyday lives and needing, you know, sometimes medication for or whatnot. Like, is that something a neuropsychologist would be?
Yes. He's not a medication guy. But he will refer to a psychiatrist.
If needed. Yeah.
But he would sometimes just tell people you need to learn to relax.
Hence the marriage of what you now do.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
It's amazing, amazing stuff because he always did biofeedback for
Uh-huh.
people. And
Which is amazing, I
yes,
hear. Yes,
yes.
I know people and clients of mine that I've referred actually to
Mhm.
your brother.
Yeah.
And at one point, he was very booked with patients, and it was
He's
kind of a wait
always
list. He's
booked.
very, very good at
Oh
what he
my
does.
gosh,
Thank
yeah.
God. So are you. And
Thanks. He's amazing.
yeah,
The people he has helped.
amazing. Yeah,
He
the
wrote a
stories.
book also called The Strength Within.
The Strength Within, and
Yeah.
his name is
Dr. Frank Maurio.
Dr. Frank Maurio, The Strength Within. I'll put a little link up here on my YouTube once this is posted
And
up there as well.
it's available on Amazon.
All right.
And he's
Amazon comes here a
fabulous.
lot. So I might just have to. I'm going to
It was
get the
at
book.
Barnes and Noble too.
Oh, wow.
On the
Okay.
shelf. But
I'm going to
I
get
don't
it.
know anymore if
I'm going to get it.
Barnes and Noble's in.
I think I remember you telling me years ago about the book, but I don't think I, got it, or I remember you saying he was writing a book or wrote a book. Okay, so now we're going to fast forward. So you started out in his office, and obviously he was referring patients to
Yes.
you, and you guys probably worked in conjunction that way. And now you have your own space, or you still in?
We moved to East Islip.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
and
that's
I have
amazing.
an office in that office there.
Okay.
It's great because it's a great professional center.
Yeah.
Very easy for people to come to. Good parking.
Yeah.
Everything is perfect about it. So
yes,
so it's really
I have not been there myself physically, but I've sent quite a few people there, and but I will go one day myself. But I have I have this one-on-one connection here. I'm lucky girl. So you have the meditation,
Yes.
guided visualization. I know that you do. That's part of that's a type of meditation, I guess. Yes,
well, it's part of it.
Part of it. Guided.
Just being able to visualize.
Yes.
In whether it's hypnosis, whether it's meditation.
Yes.
What we visualize, what we see, is what we will.
I remember the couple times that I did them with you. When we had you at Fitness Incentive, and we did some of the group ones and group led. It was just absolutely amazing. And during the COVID shutdown, Lou was so amazingly generous, and he did videos for us, for our membership at Fitness Incentive, and for the public and the general population. It's just amazing, and helped so many people through the stressful times of the shutdown, which was like, some people are really still suffering after effects and trauma and post-traumatic stress type of things from that time, and from before, and all different things in life. But I got to tell you, it's pretty incredible what you do. And
I love it.
And also the hypnosis thing. So do you hypnotize people? Do you do past life regression?
Sometimes I do more of the present.
Okay.
Going back to their childhood.
To see where that root of the cause of their trauma or anxiety or depression or whatever is affecting them today.
We will sometimes do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just ignore the past.
Okay.
And we simply, if there's a diagnosis or whatever, I'll ask for them to bring a doctor's note.
Right.
If they have OCD or if they have bipolar, I can't cure anybody.
Right.
Legally.
Sure.
I can help with the stress in there.
And the management of the symptoms.
Change the way they feel.
That's amazing.
But I can't cure.
Right. I gotcha.
It's very different.
Sign here, disclaimer, no curing allowed.
Right, because I'm not a doctor and I'm not a therapist.
Absolutely.
And I don't pretend to be, because therapy has its own place.
Right. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, but I'm a body worker. And I help people in their physical bodies and to find balance, and he helps people in their emotional and subtle bodies to find that balance as well, right?
That's very important.
To help lead them on this journey of healing and balance.
Because it all comes from within.
Absolutely.
And the more you can see it, I have a lot of people also that they're in pain. And
that's the thing I was going to ask you. Chronic pain. I know you were really the big with that. People that have what is it called, like secondary
gain. If someone's in a car accident, say someone's in a car accident, and now
you can wherever you want to speak. It's fine.
Someone's in a car accident and they have a big lawsuit, right? They're going to make millions of dollars, but they're getting migraine headaches really bad, or they say they're getting migraine headaches really bad. Now, all of a sudden, we're doing some stress reduction, and I could see it in their eyes. I could see that they're not in pain. And I'll say, how are you feeling? Not good. and
Mm-hmm.
and obviously we know that they're feeling okay, that it made a difference. And I'm not discounting what they're doing,
Right.
but sometimes they can't get past it because they're so concerned about the case. So there's secondary stuff. It's secondary gain that they really call it,
Right. Okay.
because they're gaining from this
Right. Right.
if they stay sick.
So it's how their brain is processing this
That's right.
stuff and then manifesting it in their physical body, or vice versa,
It's going
back and forth, and it's kind of fooling them into thinking. Not even.
Yeah,
I
and
get it.
I misspoke for a minute because you asked about secondary suffering.
Okay.
But secondary gain is that.
Okay.
Now, secondary suffering.
Oh, so they're two different things. Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
And I got so involved in the secondary gain.
Okay. Yeah.
Because there's so many people that there's some kind of gain that if they stay sick,
Oh.
if they stay in a place of pain,
Okay.
now they're getting more, somebody's caring more about them.
Okay.
Or they're getting more attention. This happens a lot.
Now is that like happen a lot of times? It's kind of like the personalities that are like always the victims type of thing too. If they fall more prey to that, and
sometimes
but gain because they're going to get money from that lawsuit. Not that they're faking it,
No,
but they truly like it's like my husband always says, if you believe the lie yourself, then it's not a lie type of thing. And they truly believe it, or they're made to believe it from someone else, or an outside source, or just their own internal. This can get really like so multifaceted, obviously.
It can't move forward. But now let's go to secondary suffering.
Yes.
Secondary suffering is that, say you have a pain. There's a wonderful woman named Maya Birch in the UK, and she teaches this. She will say, I have a pain in my arm. And you don't understand, Dina, how much it's hurting. You don't understand. Now, all of a sudden, now, I'm starting to get a headache too now. I'm getting a headache because, it's starting to bother me. And remember I told you that we go to the store later? Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it because it's going to hurt even more. And could I just lie down? Just let me lie down because I don't feel good now. That's secondary suffering.
Okay.
Yes, they may have a pain.
Right.
It may have been an inkling of a pain coming, but now they remember the last time there was pain. And all of a sudden what happens is it starts becoming real, more real, and worse. And now they start going forward to, it's going to be bad later. It's going to be bad. And now they get a headache. Now they don't want to do anything.
I know people that.
That's what it is.
Yes.
That's Maya. But I took that directly from Maya Birch because she was 26 years old and she was in a car accident. She was in the hospital. She was partially paralyzed.
Oh.
And she thought her life was over. And the way she tells it, I thought my life was over. And someone came to see me, she said, and asked me, how are you feeling right now? And she said, surprisingly, I said, I'm okay right now. And she said, I didn't realize why I said that. But at the moment, I was okay. I wasn't going to, what's going to happen in my life? How am I ever going to have a family? How am I going to do anything?
Right.
She said, I wasn't thinking.
And that's everything right there. Not the control of that thought process, and to not get caught into the what ifs and that hamster on the wheel thinking, and that repetitive thinking, and then that sets the fear, and then fear cripples you. And so this is all the stuff that you actually help people.
Yes, for pain. This is a real big thing. That's true mindfulness and just being mindful and
like being here now, like Ram Dass said, be here now, like in the moment. But you help them develop those tools that are actually within them, and help them navigate that and teach them how to use it.
Now, keep in mind, Maya Birch said, they asked me one thing, name one good thing right now. And she said, the clean sheets touching my skin. What more could we have? And then years later.
It makes me want to cry.
Yeah, it's such a different way of looking than being present, as you said.
Yes.
This is all about what's now.
There's so many people, and so many people in my life, immediate, even family and friends that, I am so grateful because I've been exposed to so many different tools throughout my life.
Yes.
It took me a long time. It took me, I'm 57 now. It took me till I was close to 40 to start to really heal and it was almost like I was always peeking out that window, and I finally just opened that window and jumped out, and then grasped everything I could, and again, it's a constant journey. We're never, I don't believe, fully. I guess that's the whole thing with enlightenment, right? And now chakras and the balance of everything, to be truly enlightened and like Jivan Mukti, this means liberation of the soul while still in the human body. It's a Sanskrit term, and that's so there's so many things that are just so interwoven. But the fact that there is help out there and so many avenues, so many people just right away go for a pill and crawl under the covers and get depressed. And I just want so many people to know that there are other ways, and you don't have to stop living, and you don't have to pull those shades down and hide. No matter what bad things have happened to us in our lives, there's always hope, and there are people that can help us. And I have a bunch of other questions, and maybe we're gonna have to do another interview, but I'm not gonna rush it. I don't care. You can pause and come back to us later. But there's so much important stuff here, so please don't just shut us off if we ramble, because we're too kiakirons here. Kiakirona, karakion.
What I'll tell you though is it's a very tough concept for people to embrace.
Yeah.
If I say allow your pain, we're not taught to allow pain. We're taught to fight the pain,
Right.
get rid of it.
Right.
When you fight it, you know what happens? It slaps you back in the face.
Yeah, and then it internalizes, and then it in your physical, and which makes you.
That's right. And then
feel like
you
you're
don't
crazy.
Get rid of it because you can't get rid of anything.
And then it piles up and piles
That's
up and
right.
piles
And
up.
there's layers.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. People will say to me when they meditate, I got rid of the thought, Lou. I said, no, I don't want you to get rid of it. Thoughts, we can't get rid of thoughts.
Right.
What we're allowing is we're prioritizing. We are focusing. When we focus on the breath is here and now. And we use the breath in whatever it is, because you can't take a breath into the future.
Right.
You can't take a breath into the past. Only now can I take a breath. So what's happening is you're present to this moment.
It's such a simple concept, but so difficult
It's amazing.
to embrace and achieve for so many people, right?
That's so hard. And what happens is sometimes I have to use hypnosis to allow people to believe that they can meditate and go into that place.
Okay.
It's interesting. I call it mindful hypnosis a lot of times, because we're combining the two. We're doing the meditation, but then we're going to do a little bit of hypnosis.
I want to definitely do a second interview with you all on hypnosis, because there's only so much I understand about it. And I'm going to say one thing, and that could tease us into our second interview another time about hypnosis, because I have a couple other questions about stuff that you do now. But wait, first of all, do you do like the hypnosis for weight loss and smoking and stuff like that too? That people, because it's, and those are all behavioral things too, which are symptoms of other things. So I guess it really does intertwine with.
It does, because in the office, I'll teach mindful eating.
Right.
Not from a registered dietitian's point
Right.
of view.
Right.
However, I teach it from a mindful point of view. How to eat.
Beautiful.
And how to be present to eating.
Right.
Very important. Very important. Now, keep in mind, if that's part of the session, that's mindfulness. But now, to allow you to stop eating the things that are hurting you.
Right.
That the overeating.
Right.
Eating all the sugar, or going and drinking all.
And this is through the hypnosis. And so it's not just their conscious choices that they're making. Now it becomes part of their subconscious or unconscious. Are they two different things?
Same thing.
Same thing. Okay.
Same thing.
Right. So it's just not on the level of conscious. It's more underneath. Yeah.
And I'll have people. I had one man who was on the road all the time for work, and he said, I kept stopping at Burger King, McDonald's for the diet soda.
Oh, geez.
And I would stop at each place. So I hypnotized him. A week later, he said to me, Lou, I'm doing great. Not because of you, because my mind's telling me that I don't need that.
That's so incredible. I want to, okay, can we do another day where we could really just speak about hypnosis? Because I have so many questions, and I don't want to take away from what, you know what I'm saying? Like we could do it all at once, but then we'll be here for 2 days.
No, because
And
the stories and the things that you do in hypnosis are amazing.
And I really have a lot of questions about that. And I really briefly, like, because I asked about the past life regression earlier, and I did a group past life regression many, many years ago at a wellness convention in the city. I dragged my mom with me, and because Brian L. Weiss was doing, was appearing there, and I had read his books, and he did a group past life regression thing. It was pretty amazing. And it was like my first exposure. Well, his books were, you know, but whatever. I love that stuff. And just doing your guided visualization, even that reminded me of like when he was bringing you back to the place of bringing you into that hypnotic place, right? But we're going to get into the hypnosis. We're going to do another interview because, and if you're into this hypnosis stuff, but I got to tell you, everybody, we all need like, the thing of asking for help is another thing, like especially I guess in this society itself and just in America alone, you know, conventionally I guess we feel like asking for help is like a sign of weakness. But then you see so many people just I'm sorry, but personally in this, I believe that this country is way over medicated, and I think everybody turns to a pill. And I'm not saying that some people don't need pills and that pills and medication is not necessary for certain things. Absolutely, 100%. But like this SSRIs and, you know, these uptake inhibitors and whatever that, you know, people are on for a long time and then they don't even change it, or they don't even, you know, the idea would be maybe to help you level out, but then get the tools that you can use to help you on so many other levels. So
that's the key.
Absolutely.
The tools. A lot of people turn right to the medication.
Exactly.
Now, keep in mind, sometimes
we're not doctors. We're not saying don't take your pills or whatever you're on and doing whatever. There's just
I would never tell anyone
never,
stop
never,
pills.
Never.
But a lot of times a doctor will give a little bit of a medication so that the person could learn.
Right. Level out and whatever, and it can help.
And then you could take it, they will take it away.
Right.
But some people are at that point where they're so stressed that they can't even accept the meditation.
Yeah.
Unless they get a little bit of medication.
Right. So they can't accept the meditation.
That's right.
With that, I have a tank top that says heavily meditated.
Yes.
Because you're talking to the girl who doesn't even take a Tylenol. So, okay. Although I do like my tequila, I'm just saying. And my wine and some beer.
But it's amazing what happens.
Yeah.
So the thing is that what I had a man just to go there who was 72. And he came in, he said, I taught him meditation. And he said, why didn't anybody ever teach me this when I was younger?
Why isn't it taught in schools and everything else? I mean,
they are now.
Just like yoga and Pilates and stretching. It's not.
No.
They are teaching it in
a little bit of meditation in schools now. In some schools, there are programs.
So, you know, I should have asked this in the beginning or mentioned this in the beginning or whatever. So, you know, when you say meditation, right, I'll tell a lot of people, you know, oh, Dina, you got to teach me how to meditate or whatever. And, you know, I've been practicing meditation, forms of meditation for many, many years. But this guided visualization, I'm telling you, this guy is the shit. But anyway, he is. I mean, listen, like he says, he's not curing anybody. He is helping you to develop your own internal tools. As we say, the true teacher lies within. And he's guiding you to get there and helping you develop those tools, right, to balance out and heal. But people, you know, a lot of people, they hear the word meditation and they think, and they think that they, you know, that they gotta sit for hours and you know, they're going to levitate and they can't get there and their heads are, you know, no, that's why like we give mantra sometimes, which is like a hitching post for the mind, just a repetitive phrase in that type of meditation. But this is like a guided visualization meditations. And I'm going to put links up for Lou. He has group, you know, videos and
I do a meditation
live
group.
Meditation group.
Thursday
nights.
7:15 to 8 o'clock. It's a group. It's just $20.
Is it virtual or is it
virtual? On Zoom. We used to do it in person long before COVID, and in Babylon, and I have a whole group of people there.
Right.
But the thing was that I was going to do it as hybrid for the people who were in pain,
right,
and couldn't come out of their houses.
How great is that out there?
Then COVID came.
Yeah.
And people learned how to.
But now you can reach people all over. Like you don't just have to be anybody in New York or Long Island or anything.
Which is really a great thing. Sometimes I'll have 10 people, 20 people on the group. Sometimes I'll have 2 people. And
it's what time? 7:30 to 8?
7:15 to 8 o'clock.
7:15 to 8 on Thursday nights.
Thursday night. We only
How much is it?
Meditation is $20.
$20. You kidding me? I mean, you just Venmo, Zelle you?
Venmo or Zelle.
Okay.
And I could always give you that.
Yeah, I'm gonna get all the links.
Yeah, I just ask for people to tell me, and then I give them send back an email so they can just Venmo or Zelle.
And do people like? So you have a bunch of people on this Zoom,
Mm-hmm.
and like I could sit there and just mute myself and just be there, and I don't even have to say or do anything. We just sit there and you guide us.
That's it. Because in Babylon,
there's no discussion really.
I used to teach during the group, and I used to also have discussion.
Right.
But when I started this, a lot of people said, you know what? Could we just meditate? Because it seems like whenever you go anywhere to meditate, they do more, and then they just make a little meditation.
Yeah, and there's distraction, and there's because you're just you got everybody else's energies are there.
Yes.
And that can be distracting.
And they don't do the meditation. They'll go to groups.
Right.
But then there'll be another agenda
as
part of it.
Right.
And then they just do a little meditating.
Mm-hmm.
People just want to meditate.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, I come from the place of when I was in advertising, that if someone said to me, take a minute to breathe, I would laugh at them, basically, because I wasn't a believer. I didn't believe in meditation. I didn't believe in stopping. That was all a bunch of bull. So I was the perfect one. When people look back and say, Lou Maurio teaches meditation?
You're the poster child. Yeah, you are the perfect example.
When did he start doing this?
That's amazing.
They can't believe it because I was a type A plus personality.
See, that's what
Not just type A.
A plus. So plus A plus plus plus.
It was bad. And I loved what I did and everything, but I didn't stop. Yeah. Now, keep in mind, meditation isn't only about sitting and meditating.
Right.
It's how do we bring it into life.
Right.
So, because people will say to me, I don't have time to sit for hours, like you said.
Right. That's not what it is.
This isn't about that. I'll give you 5 minutes. If you're at the University of Massachusetts, I think they insist on 20 minutes of meditation a day.
Okay.
If you want to be in their program. But the thing is that I know people that aren't going to be able to give 20 minutes.
Right.
They have little kids. They have things
Absolutely.
to do. They have businesses.
Mm-hmm.
They have all this. So the way I look at it is, give it 5 minutes. Give it what you can. If you could only sit for 2 minutes,
right,
that's 2 minutes. That's valuable.
Right.
Now,
but also, it's not just them sitting there and trying to blank out their minds. It's a visualization technique that you're teaching them to do. That's how we're meditating. We're not just sitting there and trying to blank out your mind and go into alpha state and be, go to the Akashic records and stuff like that. It's like, so that's what people have to understand this. And I can't wait to maybe we could do one together one day here.
And it's about being.
But you're making it realistic in this real world with 5 minutes, and that's how you start. Like I tell all my clients, this isn't just about when you're in session with Dina.
That's right.
Okay, this is stuff you're going to take with you. You're going to be standing different. You're going to be focusing on how you sit and how you stand, and how you move your body throughout. So so you're once again the tools. And everybody's capable of this, and everybody's just going to. Some people move right fast through it, and other people little pieces at a time.
Yes, and that's exactly it. And the thing is that
real life gets in the way.
It's real life. Now, this is meditation for real life.
Right. See? Hear that. That's important.
It truly is. Because what we're going to do is take those pieces, that way of being, and now bring it into that meeting you're going to.
Right.
How do you deal with that, the chaos that's around? How do you stay focused during that? And that's what this is about. It's prioritizing what's happening in the moment.
And you see, you're not just preaching because you truly, like you said, I said the poster child, but it's true. You really are. And it's unfortunate, but fortunate that you had that freaking, that triple bite. That was your warning. That was your wake up call. That was your guardian angels or whoever saying to you, dude, man, this is it.
It started with a minor heart attack in Bryant Park on my way to the office.
Oh.
That started everything. So, but
thank God for that.
The body reacts.
Yes.
It tells us what we need to do.
And thank God your brother that you have. I mean, but I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason and in the order it's supposed to happen. And, I feel like there are so many things in this lifetime on this plane that we're not going to have the answers to until we're wherever. And everybody believes differently, right? But the bottom line is we have to be here now, and we are here now. And there's so much available to us. So, no matter what's going on in our lives, to allow ourselves, not to allow ourselves, but, so many people, again, the depression, the this, and we were joking before we even started recording, not joking, but we were conversing a little bit and would say that every time, on the TV, there's these commercials for medication, and like there's an antidepressant, and so you're depressed and you might be having suicidal thoughts. So they're going to put you on an antidepressant, and on the commercial it says may cause suicidal thoughts. What is that? Like, it just blows my mind. May cause your eyes to fall out of your head, but your skin will stop itching. So take this pill, and then they give you a pill for a side effect of something else and something else. Once again, I'm not saying that medication is unnecessary for everybody. I'm just saying really do your homework and don't just listen to somebody or do whatever. We'll get into that, but so listen to us though and do some guided visualization meditation. I'm going to share links. I'm going to share Lou's information, and I mean, as you can see with the two of us, there's so much to talk about. We can sit here and chat forever. We'll probably be here like 3 hours after we say goodbye to you, but please, if you do watch this, give us some questions, message me, and maybe we'll do like a live guided visualization meditation here, even just like a 15 or 20 minute something. We can do that one day, and maybe live like questions or something. But if you have questions, please let us know for Lou or myself, and definitely like this video if you do like it, and if you don't, you cannot like it, and do the thumbs down. Let us know why. I know it's long, but this is real life. This is what it is. And be nice.
Scripted.
Yeah, man. And be nice. If you don't like it, don't be so mean. And but subscribe to my channel if you didn't already. It's free. Just hit that subscribe button. And yeah, I'm still learning how to like do all the tag things on here on the YouTube and whatnot. But I am going to share Lou's link and the name of the brother's book. I'm going to get all the notes that I need to share, and I'll put it on here, whether it's in comments or however fancy stuff I'm supposed to learn how to do this. And I will learn how to do it. And
I'll give the link for the group too.
Yes, for his guided visualization group on Thursday nights. I'm definitely going to get the link for that. And I'm going to continually share that on my social media too, with some maybe tidbits and pieces and comments about this, because I can't tell you how healing and how necessary it is. And I'm not kidding. Like he says, he can give somebody just 5 minutes of something and it can really help. And as I'm sitting here, I have so many people in mind. One of my friends that I grew up with, literally, I keep thinking about her, and she's just popping into my head throughout this entire interview. Multiple people are coming up into my head, but this one girl, we've been conversing back and forth, via Facebook Messenger and stuff like that. She lives in another state, but I really want to try to get her to attend one of the things. So anyway, I'll speak to you. You don't know who you are now, but I'll speak to you later.
I'll tell you one more thing.
Yeah, one more thing. Uno más.
One more, and it's that I test out a lot of things on myself.
Okay.
And because I can't preach.
No, absolutely. I'm the same way. Yeah.
And
if I can't do it, I'm not giving it to my person.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, I got floaters about a year ago.
Okay.
And
floaters are like when you see those little spots in your eyes and your peripheral vision and just all around.
And it's very important.
Even when your eyes are open, not just when they're closed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're like moving around.
And I was told you have to get the retina specialist to look at it.
Okay.
Because if it's a tear, it could be dangerous.
Right.
So
yes.
I got checked by the retina specialist, and the retina specialist said they're fine, but you can get an operation, and we can get rid of the floaters.
So supposedly the floaters are caused by something going on with your retina.
I'm not even sure where they come from. It's a good question. I think something changed.
Okay.
And that's where they come from. But remember, I'm not a doctor or an ophthalmologist.
Or an actress or an actor.
Exactly.
We're real people.
That's right. So now the doctor says you can get an operation. We could make them go away. But it would probably give you, cataracts quicker.
And then you got to get the cataract surgery.
That's right. Or he said you can just let it be. And I said, what I do for a living is asking people to let things be, right? That's what I do.
Yeah.
So if I can't
in
let
essence,
it be, this is a good test. Again, because there have been multiple things that I do. So now I go ahead and these floaters come and I just take a breath and I say, whatever, it's okay. It's okay. And you know what happens? They disappear. They disappear because the brain is called neuroadaptation.
Okay.
This is scientific stuff. It's not just
I believe it.
La La Land meditation.
No, I believe it.
So what happens is they floated, they all disappeared. It took about 4 months.
Permanently.
Well,
They would disappear and then they would like come back and then
they just
now they're
disappear. And the idea is that they don't bother me at all anymore.
right. See,
I
that's
could
the
have
thing.
gone, because remember, we always want something to happen quick.
Oh yeah.
Give me the operation, right? Give me the operation. I want to get rid of it.
We want it yesterday. Want
But
the quick fix.
Yeah. But if we just let it, all of a sudden.
It's like that Beatles song, Let It Be, Let It Be.
The Beatles
They
knew.
had something.
Yeah.
They knew.
They knew back then.
I was going to have a question there. You just said about the, the floaters and something.
Just letting it be. Now, keep in mind, if you live.
Mind over matter. That's like an old saying, mind over matter. Yeah. To stop and take a breath. Stop and smell the roses. If you really think about those words, stop. When you're on a walk, stop and smell that flower.
That's right.
Stop and take a breath.
Because you're probably
let it be.
By it.
It's so hard to let it be for people, to let things go, right?
Yes.
But this is what you do.
Being present to real life. The floaters didn't matter at that time.
Right.
If I just allow them,
right,
they disappear.
Right.
Same thing happens if someone lives near a train station. You go visit them and you say, "How could you live here? It's so noisy."
Yeah.
And they say, "I don't even hear
it. You
it."
don't even hear it.
We don't believe them.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like, how could you not hear that?
Yeah. I could never live here. I'm gonna sleep and blah blah blah.
That's neuroadaptation.
Neuroadaptation.
The brain adapts.
It's true. Sometimes when, like, if George has a student in there and I'm in here with someone, I don't hear it.
Right.
You know, or I hear it as background music, or whatever. But you know, and I know that's just like a small little parallel.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
You've allowed yourself. Now, a lot of people will say, "Wow, how am I supposed to meditate when it's noisy?"
Yeah.
Well, perfect example. The world is noisy. Life is noisy.
We have to exist within the chaos. It's always that thing that's on the coffee mug, right? It says peace isn't living without noise or this or that. It's learning how to live with it, right? With it all around.
Exactly.
And I'm going to tell you something. We're going to end in a minute, but so like you just said that, and I always I always say this, and I say this a lot of times if I'm teaching like yoga or some type of, visualization meditation with chakra balancing or something. In the second sutra of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, and it's very loosely translated, and I might not be pronouncing it correctly in the Sanskrit, whatever, but it's Chitta Vritti Nirodha Yoga. And there's so many ways to translate this apparently, but loosely said, it is meant like when the chattering of the mind has ceased, one has achieved yoga. So I would say this, I'm teaching a yoga class and I'm like, okay, so they're in a tree pose and you're holding your pose, well, you're not achieving yoga or doing yoga if you're thinking about your Stop and Shop list and what you're going to do after this and blah, 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 right? When you're sitting there and you're trying to do this blank your mind out meditation thing, but you're thinking about this. So what it was said is that if you're sitting, you do a mantra, like a repetitive thing, like you think rising, falling, or you're counting, right? And then if you think of something or you smell something or you hear something or you feel something, they tell you to say the sense in your head. Like say I'm sitting here and I'm trying to focus on, the other type of meditation, right? Yeah. And I start thinking of something. I have to say thinking, and then go back to my mantra, which is a hitching post for the mind.
Exactly.
So the mind doesn't wander. You say the sense that's distracting you. Mm-hmm. So because otherwise you're like, that reminds me of, I want pizza later.
There
my God, I'm so freaking hungry. Holy shit. Instead of saying smelling, and then go back to the moment. So there's so many different tools and so many different disciplines, but this is such a real life approach. Like you don't have to do yoga or be a yogi and all that. And meanwall, everybody calls themselves a yogi, but their minds are still chattering. I don't care if you can stand on your head for 2 hours. You're not doing it.
Bring that practice.
Yeah.
To real life.
Now
you're in a meeting.
Yes.
And everything's chaotic.
Exactly.
Everything going on. And now somebody says something and you're trying to focus.
Yeah.
But now you're thinking about home.
Right.
So you can do thinking. We will sometimes say thought.
Right.
And then you bring it back.
Right. To the moment. And it is. So trust me, this has helped me and healed me. When I first read I didn't read the whole freaking manuscript, but the Yoga Sutras. And that is like my favorite one because that is what started me and really helped me to manifest from myself the ability to really live within the chaos. Trust me, because sometimes your own brain is the chaos that you're creating it, and maybe not sometimes, always, right? Even just a simple example in the fitness incentive, we had the spin room next to the yoga room, And a lot of times the spin music is loud. It's got to be loud, man. You want to be in the moment. You're going to be rocking out and people will be flipping out and blah, blah. And I'll be like, listen, this is a perfect example and a perfect tool for you to understand that you need to focus here. But sometimes I'd be like, you know, I hate when the person played really good music that I like because then I'm distracted because I'm trying to sing it. Then I'm like, practice what you preach. I like that song. I got to be here.
That's exactly it. When we were in Babylon, we would have the ambulances passing over.
Yeah.
And I said, this is perfect.
Yeah.
I love this because the world is noisy. It's chaos.
Yes.
It's thoughts. If I said to you, we're going to go to the park.
The world is noisy, but your brain doesn't have to be.
That's right.
Right?
That's exactly it. Because you can allow whatever's there.
Yeah.
If I said, we're going to go to the park at 5 in the morning and meditate. Now, you're all ready because it's going to be quiet in the park. All perfect place to meditate is what you believe.
Right.
Or someone will believe. And then all of a sudden we get there, you sit down quietly and you hear a cricket. And they said, oh, this is terrible. Where'd you bring me?
Remember the one you did during COVID in the plane? Was it a plane that came over really loud or something?
Yeah.
And it was just, but it was so perfect to me.
That's what it's about, that whatever noise, whatever distraction, we don't look at it as a distraction. We allow it just to be.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. All right, we're going to have to wrap this up only because I have to go for my manicure pedicure in a little while. That's why I'm wearing socks, because I didn't want him to see my not that you were going to be looking at my feet. He's got very nice shoes on. He's dressed all nicely today. So anyway, once again, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, I just can't even, and I can't wait to do. I'm going to jump on one of those Zooms, and I'm going to grab some people there. So anyway, we're going to show you all the links, all the information that we chatted about, and please like and subscribe. And we have plenty more interviews coming, not only with Lou, but some other special guests and friends, all in wellness, and all to help us continue on this journey of, overall wellness and finding balance in our lives. So thank you all so much. Ciao for now, beautiful people. Stay tuned. We will see you soon. Thank you. And then this doesn't work. And then I'm going to be like, hello, look, see.